So here we are. Good evening, everybody. Once again, shout out to those people who are watching on the replay. Massive shout out to those people who watch on YouTube, watch the replay on Facebook. If you're watching the replay on Facebook because you didn't make it here live, please leave the word replay in the comments. I'm just really fascinated on how many people actually tune into the replay. If you can't make it here live, do this every Monday night, so please come and make it live. At least one Monday. It would be great to actually chat to you lot. If you're watching on Twitter right now live or you're watching on LinkedIn, I only monitor the comments on Facebook. So by all means, listen passively or whatever on those platforms. If you want to come and get involved with the actual chat where you'll hear me shout people's names out tonight, like Connor, Marcelo's in the house. How you doing, buddy? Hope you're good. Marcelo's just got a great film job as well. Congrats, mate. Hope all is good. He was going for his COVID-19 test at Pinewood today. So hope all went well with that, Marcelo. Bill's in the house. Chris is here. James is here. Alex is here. Steve's here. Ollie's here. Karen's here. Loads of people are here. If you want to come and join us live one Monday, get yourself over to facebook.com/actonthisTV, and that's where I actually monitor the comments and we have a chat. But I just appreciate you watching wherever you're watching. Doesn't matter. Julie, good evening, and Joe, good evening as well. Got absolutely loads to talk about tonight. I don't even know where to begin. We've got that much to talk about. I want to start actually. I'll start actually with. I was just saying before I went live, for those watching on the recording, you wouldn't have heard me say this because I don't record that part. But I was just saying one thing in the acting industry, and do you know what? It's probably just one thing in life that's really fascinating. In fact, it's fascinating for me, and is always the thing that like keeps me going when I'm like, shit, nothing's actually happening. I feel like maybe I'm treading water a little bit in my acting career, or just other areas of your life as well. Is that you never know. My opinion, as you know, is you'll get everything out of your life if you help other people get what they want out of their lives. And sometimes you've just got to have faith in doing that. Those things that you're going to get out of your life are just going to come. And sometimes there's no sign of those things until literally something out of the blue happens. And I'm all about the hustle and putting yourself out there and emailing casting directors. We go over this loads in the SACTING community. I have casting directors on every single week for people who are members of the website, and we chat to them about reaching out and stuff. It's really important. Same with producers, same with writers, same with directors. But sometimes there's only so much you can kind of do. And then you've just got to have faith that you've done the work, you've put the value out there, you've helped other people with no expectation of anything back in return. And somehow the world is going to pay you back. The universe is going to pay you back. Whatever it is you believe in, it could be like, religion, whatever you believe in at all. Like, you think, I've done good, surely I'm going to be rewarded for it. And today I just had something happen that nothing might come of it at all. So I won't go into actually what it is. But I'm always like, look, your career can change off the back of, you're only one audition away, basically. You're only ever one audition away. And your life can change off an email, a phone call, a text, or a voice note. And I just got a voice note today from someone who's really, really supportive in the industry. Another actor who also has the same outlook on life as myself in terms of, like, if you help other people get what they want out of their lives, you'll get what you want out of your life as well. And they were just like, listen, this thing's come up. I've been talking to someone about you. I think you'd be right for it. I'm going to take this action to try and get you a look in on this thing. And if it did come off, it could be something that would be pretty big for my career. So it's just to say, like, keep the faith, even when you feel nothing's going on, because I felt it too. I've been like, nothing's going on in our industry right now. I was talking to some casting directors last week, some really big casting directors as well, friends of ActOnThis.tv. They cast the biggest shows in UK TV, and they're like, look, the one thing that's holding us back right now is insurance. Like, production companies cannot afford to insure cast on shows. So like TV is really struggling. Bar the serial dramas that are back that can, put sort of social distancing into the storylines. A lot of the big dramas, just can't do that because it's not part of the story. So they're just struggling to kind of get insurance on stuff. So you're a bit like, oh God, when are we going to be able to sort this out? And it can sometimes feel a little bit like, oh God, right? It's all at a standstill, and things are getting better every single week. I'm massively optimistic. The industry is definitely moving forward and progress is being made. But if you are feeling, because I was feeling it a bit, until I got that message today, if you are feeling a little bit like, I'm just trudging along and, I could do with something happening, you're only one audition away. You're only one text away, one email away, one voice note away. And the more you can help people in this industry as well, the more chance that you have of that happening, where you will be the one on the receiving end of one of those messages that gives you an opportunity. And I always like to try and get other people as many opportunities as I can. Not because I want that to happen for myself in terms of like, I'm only doing this because I want you to help me out. But that's just the law of reciprocity. People will reciprocate the value that you give them. If your intention is pure and you go and help people. So that's what I want to talk about initially, let me know if anything exciting has happened to you, or if you've had anything like that happen today. Let's dive into the comments a second. Evening all, says Mark. Brendan's here as well. It says, having a terrible time trying to get on Facebook. Really funny this evening. Well, hopefully it's all. Is it all right for everyone else? Let me know. There's a lot of comments and a lot of people watching, so I'm hoping it's all right if everyone can, if everyone just lets me know in the comments if there's any issues, I can try and have a look at that. So that was point number one. Point number two, I want to say thanks so much. You might have seen the video that I put in the Acts on This Facebook group. That's a free group as well, by the way, guys. Even if you're not a member of the main website, actsonthis.tv, where all the real good stuff happens, we have a Facebook group as well as the Facebook page you might be watching this broadcast on now, and that's free. Anyone can just join that, and that's facebook.com/groups/actsonthistv. And I put a really interesting post up in the group, right? I was getting loads of emails, and I do on a daily basis. If you're on here today, you might have emailed me, and I might have sent you an email back today. But obviously, the main question that people ask me, and people ask all my guests on Acts on This and all the casting directors, ultimately is, look, how do I get... Two things. How do I get in the room for a casting, and how do I book either my first or my next TV job? I mean, that's ultimately what we all want, innit? We want to be working, we want to be earning money, doing a job that we really love, and that is acting. And for most people in this community, because it's TV focused, it's acting on TV. So I was like, right, I'm getting loads of these emails. I'm going to put a training together, some kind of training, because I was like, I don't know how many people actually have even got their first TV credit. And I can't promise you a career that's going to blow up and you're going to get loads, but I can absolutely freaking help people get their first TV credit, I've obviously done that. I don't know how many credits I've got. I've probably got like over 20, I reckon. Over 20 TV shows I've been in. Not huge parts, sometimes only a couple of episodes, but I'm like, I can definitely really give people actionable tips and steps and strategies that they should take if they want to get their first TV role, or even their next TV role, depending on where you're at. If you're a lead actor right now, I'm not, so I'm probably not going to be able to give you the advice to go, I'm going to get you your next lead role when I've not had a lead role. I can basically help everybody who wants to get to the part of the career, where I'm at right now. And also, maybe even a little bit further, because sometimes in this industry, you're doing all the right stuff, but you just haven't had that break. I've been so close twice to getting a role that would change my life, like a massive, massive job. So I might be able to help people a little bit further along than me. I just haven't been the chosen one on those two occasions where I've got out of the last two. And you go in and you screen test for this job, and you're like, oh my God, this is going to change my life. And then you don't get it. But that is just life. That's what we sign up for. So anyway, I put a survey together and I put it in the Facebook group. It doesn't matter if you've not filled it in now. You don't need to go and fill it in now. We had hundreds of people fill the survey in. And it was absolutely fascinating. Okay, I was asking people questions like, ultimately, like, where are you at now? Where do you want to be? What do you think is out of your control that is stopping you getting where you want to be? And that's so interesting, because I'm massive on mindset. I'm huge on like belief systems, and the man who believes he can and the man who believes he can't, or woman, are generally right. If you believe you can achieve something in this industry, chances are you're going to be able to achieve it. If you believe that you actually don't, and deep down you don't, the words that might come out of your mouth are, yeah, I believe I can make it and I'm going to be a big star, but really inside you're like, nah, it's bullshit. I don't really think I'm good enough. I'm not good looking enough. I'm not talented enough. I don't have enough this, that, the other. Then you won't do it. Ultimately, you need to be your biggest fan, your biggest cheerleader. And that sounds kind of, in British sort of society anyway, a bit of a thing we shouldn't do is kids were taught, to not show off and, kind of put other people first and stuff like that. But no, you really, in life, in this industry, you've got to put yourself first. You've got to be selfish in order to be selfless. And you just got to think about that, right? It's not a negative thing. It's just like, look, if you are not serving yourself and cheering yourself on more than anybody else, then your well depletes and you have no water to give anybody else. Like, you've got to always put yourself first. And I mean that, like, I'll just sound really cruel, won't it? But I mean, like, I absolutely have to put myself, if I'm going to be used to my mum or my brother or my family, like, I've got to make sure that I'm all right first. Otherwise, I'm of no service to them. I'm of no use whatsoever. So yeah, one thing that that I was asking people is like, what do you think's out of your control that's stopping you from having success in the industry? And it was fascinating. So many of the replies I was getting from people where you're in it, you won't see that you are in control of that thing. You feel like that thing is controlling you, but actually, you could absolutely take control of it. So there's loads of mindset stuff in there that I want to go over. I was asking people, Like their fears. What's your number one biggest fear in this industry? All kinds of stuff came up. Fear of failure, fear of letting myself down, fear of letting other people down. I was asking people what they want specifically in their career. Some people want agents, other people need auditions. There was this whole thing that came back in the survey of, why do you think you're not succeeding? Of a catch-22 thing, which again is bullshit. You've just got to hustle through it. This is part of what you're signing up for. People were like, I can't get an agent without a job, and I can't get a job without an agent. No, it's bollocks. That is not true. But how many people in here right now might be thinking that is the case? And when you believe it, what you're saying to yourself is, I am certain that. A belief is that, if you want to define an actual belief, if you believe you can't get a part until you have an agent, and you believe you can't get an agent until you have a part, what you're saying to yourself, consciously and subconsciously, is, I am certain that is the way that it is. And I'm telling you that it isn't. Not because I'm making it up, just because I've experienced it myself. You don't need an agent to get your first role. It helps without a doubt. If you can do it, brilliant. But that catch-22 situation doesn't exist. It's just in your head. If you're good enough and you put yourself in front of the right people, and all you're looking for in this industry is a yes, like I said, you're only one audition away. It isn't as hard as you might want to think it is. So anyway, to cut a long story short, I've put a training together that I'm going to do on Saturday, the 8th of August, which is that's like 2 weeks away. You can go to actonthis.tv/training. I'll show you where it is. I'll share my screen with you now and show you where it is. Actonthis.tv. This is the main website. But if you go to / let me just type it in here. actonthis.tv /training. No, I clearly can't spell. Training. Come on, there you go. You literally just, if you drop your name and your email address into that form there, you'll instantly, within about 2 minutes, you'll get a Zoom link sent through to you. Have I actually shared my screen with you guys? Are you seeing that? Yeah. So you should be seeing that. You'll get a Zoom link sent through to you. Don't lose it. My Zoom plan enables, I think it's 300. I pay quite a lot for Zoom. I pay for Zoom webinar and lots of other seats and stuff. I think it's either 300-ish people that can get onto a Zoom call with me. So it'll basically be the first 300 people on that morning will get in. There's already over 200 people who've signed up for this. So they're not all going to turn up. That never happens. People who sign up for stuff, even when it's free, they never turn up for it. But if you do want to get involved with this, we're going to be talking about basically on that morning, the results of that survey. And it's only going to be 90 minutes. I can't cover everything, of course. But I just feel the more I can make people aware of what is stopping them or what they believe is stopping them, and also make you feel less alone as well, because all of the survey results were so similar. If you think you're the only one who's feeling in that catch-22 situation, you're just not. If you're the only one who's feeling that, you're not getting replies back from agents, you're not. Same with casting directors. If you feel your show reel isn't quite right, whatever it is, you're not the only one. So many other people are in the same boat. So I want to kind of bring some solidarity around that. And also, let me know, because I'm thinking, I obviously can't cover everything in a 90-minute session on that. But I might even put together some kind of training. I mean, it'd have to be paid for, because I can't, it would take a long time. It would be maybe a month-long program or a 6-week thing where maybe, I don't know, I create a separate Facebook group, we have a little private community, and we deep dive into each of these sections, around everything from show reels, headshots. Writing emails is something that is really tripping people up all the time. They're overcomplicating their emails, and then they'll send me an email saying, hi, I've sent this email out to 200 casting directors and I've not had a reply. I'm like, why after 10 didn't you change it? Why didn't you, why have you sent it out to 200 when you could have just sent it to 10, got that qualitative feedback of whether you're getting any replies, and then you could do something about it? There's just lots of things, the way to track emails, the way to know if an agent or a casting director has opened your email without them sending you a reply. I can teach you tools and tactics and tricks of how you can do that, so if someone's opened your email, if someone's clicked on a link, if they've watched your show reel. If that's something people are interested in, I can definitely look at doing that. Like I say, I can't do that for free because, it's 5 weeks work. But I just think there's something we need. We need something like that. A no bullshit approach as well. And I'd bring guests in as well if we were going to do that. I'd bring in guests and some absolute experts in each area as well as all the knowledge and everything that I use in my own career. So let us know in the chat if you'd be up for that. What's Felicity saying here? 2 days after my birthday. Hope I'll have some birthday luck left over to get on the webinar. It starts at 11 a.m. Basically, I'll open the room at 10:55 a.m. on the 8th, and if you just get in at 10:55, you should be fine. It's a Saturday morning. Most people will be still probably in bed at that point, even if they'd registered. But do come and join. Honestly, it'll just be a fascinating chat. I'll create a proper presentation for you guys and everything on all the results, all the survey results, what I feel is holding people back, why I feel it's nonsense, and it's all probably mainly limited beliefs in your own head. Around why you can and can't do stuff. Honestly, it's like I was talking to Marcelo on just on email, and I was saying just how much of this industry is mindset based. I believe mindset is everything. It really, really is, and it's about. And I have to have, I pay for coaching in my own life quite a lot of money, like serious money, in fact, right? Because I need pushing out of my comfort zone as well, and I need some paradigm shifts in my own head. One thing for me. And one thing I work with Ollie on, and I pay Ollie quite a substantial amount of money every month, is to give me that paradigm shift in my head, because it's to let go of control. Control is a massive thing for me, and delegation. I really struggle. So what ends up happening is I end up doing everything in this business, and that's on this, when actually Petch, who's the cameraman and the editor, Petch's a great guy. He's really capable of doing stuff. And over the last couple of weeks, I've been delegating more and more to him. And that's like I trust Petch with everything. It's not a trust thing at all, but giving him login details for like literally so he can post stuff, on the Acts on This accounts. It's all official, and I'm like, oh my god, it should be me. I feel I should be doing this, and you just can't grow if you're doing everything. So I have to pay people in my own life to push me and hold me accountable as well. So, if Ollie says, right, get that done by Tuesday, and then he rings me on Tuesday and goes, have you done that? If I'm like, no, I haven't done it, then one, he'll probably kick off, and two, I'm wasting money, I'm just throwing it away. So, I think that everybody needs training in, particularly on the mindset to just consistently grow, and it's all about categories of constant improvement for me. And one area that I try and improve all the time is mindset, because it's the hardest one. Really is, and it's difficult because it's not tangible in terms of you can tell when you go in the gym if you're getting better, because you can lift a heavier weight or you can run faster or for longer. With your mindset, you can't see it, can you? So you need people constantly to to sort of push you beyond what is comfortable. And when you get those feelings, and I've had it a few times, had it today, where you're like, right, okay, this feels a little bit uncomfortable but quite exciting at the same time. You just know you're kind of on the right path. So hopefully you can join me for that. But yeah, actonthis.tv/training. Just drop your email address in, and you'll literally get the Zoom link tonight. It'll come through your email. Just don't lose that, because I don't think you can fill the form in again. So just keep that email safe. Definitely. Let's have a look what else is going down in the chat, and then we'll get on to the webinar from last week. David says, I got an agency in the Midlands, a co-op cloud agency where you become an agent as well as an actor to pursue your career. Yeah, co-ops are a great sort of setup for agencies. Co-ops are basically where you might have 30, 60 actors on the books, and then you each share a few hours that month so that you effectively run the business together. And you have to submit each other for stuff, so you get a really good knowledge of all the other actors in the agency as well. You understand submissions, you understand putting people forward for stuff on Spotlight, which then means you understand like what your agent's job would be if you weren't with a co-op. So if you ever left, you would be just way more kind of savvy on what it actually is, what's required of an agent. You probably respect agents more as well, because you'll be like, God, it's actually quite hard work. Let's have a look what else is going down. Got loads of comments. I'm sorry if I'm missing your co-ops. Your co-ops? Sorry for missing your comments. Sorry for missing your co-ops today. Let's have a look. Sharon said, I felt really bad and out of practice when I was on set on Saturday. Thought I knew my lines and didn't, but they loved my acting. It's just maybe, we're all, that's why self-taping and stuff's good, while you're in lockdown, and just doing stuff to keep yourself active. Because I think sometimes we all get like that, you think, oh yeah, I've got this nailed, and then you have 3 months off because of lockdown, and suddenly you're like, oh, okay, maybe I should have prepped more. But that's all right. We all have an off day at the office, Sharon. I'm sure next time I'll be much better. So I want to talk about, we're going to recap a little bit. Last week, for all members of actonthis.tv, if I fly back over to the site, we had an awesome webinar. If you missed it, you can go and check out the preview of what you missed here. We had it's the first webinar I've really done with three friends of mine who I've worked with over the last couple of years on a great CBeebies show called Timpo. There's 4 of us. I play Timpo, and then there's 3 other voice actors. We've got Lizzie Waterworth Sanso, who plays Horrid Henry. She's the voice of Horrid Henry. She's BAFTA nominated for that now. We've got Keith Wickham on the right there. That's not him, obviously. That's a Fat Controller out of Thomas the Tank. But Keith plays Thomas the Tank. No, he plays the Fat Controller in Thomas the Tank. I'm losing it tonight. And then on the left there, you've got Doug Poe, which is a character out of Tinpo, and that's played by Joanna Ruiz, another incredibly successful voice actor, all for kids' cartoons and animation. And we had a really, really interesting chat all about getting into voiceover and voice acting, specifically for animation. We've had Peter Dixon on before, the voice of the X Factor, talking about how you can get into voiceover in general, and that would be voicing commercials and documentaries. Like corporate pieces, the more normal stuff. Where this was the first one where we've actually chatted about cartoon voiceover. So what a little bit of feedback on that in the chat if you joined us for that. And for those who weren't there, I'm going to play some clips and just highlight just a couple of things to think about if you are thinking of getting into that part of the industry, because it's part of the industry that had a massive impact on my career. And is like, I just don't think hardly any actors are exploring it still. Because they just don't know how to get into it or anything like that. And hopefully that, that webinar that we did for members last week will have helped you with that. But if you missed it, here's just a little mashup of like some of the little bits. And if you don't know how these webinars work and you want to become a member of actonthis.tv as well, you'll notice on the screen now, I've taken the £1 trial offer away, guys, because people would try to cheat it. I'm not having that. People would try to sign up for multiple £1 trials from different email addresses. I'm cutting it off. But I've got an equally brilliant deal. And actually, you know what? I think this is better because you just can't take in all the content on the website in a week. What I now want to do is I want to offer anyone who hasn't had a membership before. This is for new members. If you've never been a member and you're sitting on the fence, I'm just giving people their first month half price. So basically, you're going to get a month. You're going to get 4 live coaching calls because we do one every week with a top casting director, agent, actor, writer, producer. You're going to get access to all the recordings. You're going to get access to a private community on the website as well, a bit like a Facebook group, but completely separate. You're going to get access to a monthly social. You'll get access to 2 rapid fire Friday Q&As with me. It's just insane value, and you're going to get it all for 12 quid. Like, it's just an absolute no-brainer. Go to actonthis.tv/this week. If you want to sign up, actonthis.tv/this week. If you go there now, you'll see you have till midnight tonight to get that 50% off your first month. You'll see a little countdown on the bottom of the screen. Hit the green claim it button and you can get it. But you've got until midnight and it's already, like 9:30 now. So we finish at 10, so you've got plenty of time after this finishes. But if you want to go and grab it now, grab it now. But yeah, you'll get 50% off your first month, and you can join us tomorrow for tomorrow night's live webinar with an awesome casting director, Rachel Sheridan, that we'll talk about in a little bit. But here's how they work if you've never been on one before. Here's the one on voice acting we did last week. And these guys happen to be 3 of the most talented voice actors on the planet. We've got the BAFTA-nominated Lizzie Waterworth Sanso, Joanna Ruiz, and Keith Wickham. Welcome to the webinar. Who is Lizzie Waterworth Sanso? There's some of your credits. Obviously, Horrid Henry. Who's Joe Ruiz? Couple of your credits as well. Keith has done practically everything to do with Thomas the Tank. Your CV is bursting with Thomas, so you are the Fat Controller.
If you're good and you can do it and you turn up, you get the work.
That's it. You literally are only one audition away, though, aren't you?
It's a one job profession. You get one thing, and the rest of it follows.
Where do actors start today in the industry, just with like breaking into it?
Would you recommend buying any kit if you're straight out of drama school and you've done like voice training but not specifically voice acting training? If
you're going to practice, you need to be able to listen to yourself back. Otherwise, you're going to have no idea if you're any good.
Yeah.
So, I would say absolutely.
That's a really good point, actually. It took quite a while for me, I don't know about the rest of you, to be able to hear my stuff back as if it was someone else.
Do you record together, or do you record your own character on your own?
Should he be trying to play a slightly different role, slightly different voice to his usual voice for an animation or a video game?
Unless
they usually want their own voice, don't they?
Yes.
That's why they hire kids, is they want their own voices. I mean, it's no harm in practicing, isn't it, for the future?
The big thing about this job is it's an acting gig.
Yep.
It's not a voice gig, really. You've got to be an actor, you've got to be versatile, and you've got to be able to take direction, and you've got to be able to act. It's not just doing silly voices.
No,
And also take direction quickly
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
You don't have time to like you get a note like you need to do it more like this, and you don't have like 3 hours to you have to do it within seconds.
Do you think you were too harsh on yourself?
I didn't have the confidence. I would have started a lot earlier. You just got to you know, if you know you're good at something, you're good at something, you know, and just do it.
Boom, actonthis.tv/this week if you want to join us tomorrow for tomorrow night's webinar. But yeah, that's how they work. You literally get to jump on camera with the guests. You get to ask questions. But it was just a really, really entertaining webinar, you know, with 4 of us being on at once, you know, plus a guest as we were getting guests on. Julie says it was great, so entertaining too. Fascinating, says Andrew. Sharon says it's definitely somewhere I want to explore. Animation voiceover was very inspired by the webinar. Alex says he's partway through it because you get the recording as well if you can't make it live. So Alex is partway through it, so it's really good so far. Bobby says the webinar was great, really lit a fire under my lazy ass. Bobby, you're not lazy, mate. Bobby, you make content, man. I keep seeing you putting podcasts and stuff out. And yeah, you said I'll do a podcast with you, Bobby. That's no problem, mate. If you want me on the podcast, if anyone wants me on their podcast, I'm all about giving people back. And you know, if you're part of this community, I'm more than happy to you know, to be on your stuff as well. But yeah, it was just a really interesting chat. And hopefully it did make people sort of, you know, think about whether it's something that you should explore or not. Don't get hung up on, you heard, you know, people ask questions in that mashup about, you know, kit, whether it's worth buying kit or not. Don't get too hung up on like going, I've got to spend loads and loads of money to sort of get into this industry and figure it out. I would recommend that if it is something that you want to explore, you've got to explore your own voice like you would explore, you know, your, I don't know what you would call it, like your just approach within acting in terms of, you know, you've got to experiment with stuff, haven't you? You've got to try different things. But with voice, you've got to hear yourself back as well. And you could do that on your phone, I guess. You know, you could probably do that on a real budget if you just wanted to record stuff on your phone. It's not the same, though, as, you know, you don't need to spend a fortune on a mic. You know, 100 quid will get you a decent mic. I know that's, you know, still quite a lot of money. But it'll last you a decade. You can get a USB mic, not this one that I've got here. This is more for podcasting, but there's a mic by Rode Microphones, the same manufacturer as this, called the Rode NT USB, so November Tango USB. And this thing's about 120 quid, might be a little bit dearer than the 100 mark. But you'll get 10 years out of that mic. And it just means it's a USB mic, can plug straight into your computer. You can get some free recording software called Audacity for Mac or PC, and you can just start literally straight away. It's plug and play. Start experimenting, start teaching yourself how to edit, you know, create some little stuff, little bits, little clips and stuff, listen to yourself back, see where you fit in. And just, yeah, start exploring. As Keith said in that clip, it's an acting gig, this. It's not just about doing stupid voices. That helps if you can do stupid voices, because generally you have to in animation and cartoons. It's very, you know, over the top a lot of the time. Quite slapstick in terms of comedy. Comedy timing is incredibly important for a lot of cartoons as well. But until you start recording yourself and practicing, you know, you won't know, you know, and you can't get any better until you practice. So, Bobby, if you think you've got a lazy ass, get yourself practicing, dude. And also, yeah, I'll play you this clip because this is quite nice. This is probably the only... Have I got it? I hope I've got it. Yeah, here you go. Listen to the end of this clip and also what it's titled. This was just another bit of the webinar. I've got this bit and another bit to play you. Voice acting is probably the only job on the planet where your homework is actually to watch cartoons. Where would you begin again? And anyone can answer that if you were starting out today.
I would say if I was starting out now, the one thing I would try and do is because, as Keith said, it is so incredibly competitive, and you have to audition for like pretty much nearly every job. You might get the odd job where they'll say, yeah, we want you for this cartoon, but more often than not, you audition just like everybody else, and you know, everyone's got the same chance. So the thing to work out is, what are you good at? And you might think, oh, I can do a really crazy voice. I can do this one or that. But bear in mind, the market is saturated with people who do voices. So what you need to do is work out what you are good at. And that doesn't necessarily mean you have to do a crazy animation voice. It might be that your own voice is actually really good. Like Ross, you got that job based on own
I'm just
voice.
playing myself. It's a
So-
little bit more high pitched, but it's just very much me, just sounding enthusiastic the whole way through. That's like it.
Yeah, you have to really focus on not on how many accents you can do, because it's all about authenticity now. And if someone can do a good Scottish accent, that's great, but they're likely now to use a Scottish accent, someone with a Scottish accent, because there are so many people who can do a Scottish accent, if that makes sense. So it's working your key skills, and that's the hard bit, and that's where maybe you need to practice and watch cartoons and work out, what would I do? How would I voice that? Why did they get that job? How did those voices blend together? Really start listening and hearing cartoons as well, I would say. So
Great excuse to watch cartoons. Boom, watch cartoons. Basically, that's your homework. And you don't have to feel guilty about it, because you can be like, oh no, I'm actually researching where I would fit into this program. But I think, it is important to figure out where, it's like your casting type as an actor. It's just understanding where you kind of fit in, and how versatile you are. I know Lizzie mentioned there about, not worrying about accents too much. I mean, accents can still be really useful for animation and stuff, so you can play multiple characters, but there's generally, in the animations that I've done, not loads of different accents. It's all, it will just be pretty much your own accent, well, like, a British voice, but playing but it's different. We've all, if we're all from the north, generally we sound like we're from the north, but we've all got very different voices. You just need to develop those different voices in your head. So if you've got voices in your head, listen to them and just let them out of your mouth. But it's an amazing part of the industry. I've got one more clip to play just on about auditions. If anybody is getting any auditions through for voice work, for voice acting work, because they are very, very different to an audition for TV work, or for theatre, or film or anything like that. And they can throw a lot of actors off because they can be, a lot of the time it's script on arrival as well. So you literally, you get to just spend 10 minutes with what they call a character pack. So you'll go in, you'll get handed sometimes a really big pack as well. You might be auditioning for 8 to 12 different voices. And you've got to have them in the bag. You've got to have that kind of repertoire where you're like, right, okay. But it can be all things like, I'm going to pitch this down. I'm going to slow this one down. This guy's going to talk really fast. This one's going to have quite a squeaky voice. This one's going to have a very deep voice. They don't all have to be completely different, because it's unlikely you're going to play 8 roles. I've played a few roles in animation before. I did one for Netflix called Wakfu. Probably did end up playing about 4 or 5 different characters in that. But the post-production can also help with different voices. They can pitch you up in post-production. They can take you up an octave or drop you down, and all kinds of stuff on the computer to make you sound different. But you've still got that confidence to go in and own all those different characters. So I'll jump into the comments and I'll play you that clip on auditions, and then we'll look at what's coming up this week. Marcelo says, loved... what Keith said, if you know you're good at something, you're good at something. I think that was Keith who said that in that. But you know what? It's true. And sometimes as actors, you've got to embrace that, because like, that's not an arrogance at all. If you know, you know what, you just know if you're good, don't you? If you go into an audition, you get a feeling when you walk out, you know if it was a good audition or not. You just, if you know you're good at something, then you should go all in on that, I think, and be proud that you're good at it, and and not try and be a jack of all trades and a master of none. If you know that you have a particular strength, and you're good at something, then there's nothing wrong with actually acknowledging that and go, you know what, I'm really good at that. You might be really good at comedy, or you might be really good at drama. You might have a particular strength. You might like highly emotional scenes. All kinds of stuff. You might just play drunk really well. So when a part comes up for a drunk character, I struggle with that. Drunk is really, really hard. I know an actor friend of mine who will remain nameless, who was in a really big show. For his first drunk scene, just had to get drunk. It was a night shoot as well, and he just basically went out on a night out before he went to work. And I mean, the scene was brilliant. I watched the scene back when it was on TV. It was superb, and he was ad-libbing. I mean, it would have been a nightmare for continuity, but they cut around it. It was fine. But he was just very, very drunk. So if you know you're really good at drunk without having to get drunk, then an audition comes up for a drunk character, don't be afraid of going, guys, I'm really good at this. When you know you're good at something, you're good at something. Connor said he missed a lot of the webinar because his internet was cutting out Connor, come on, man. We're going to have to upgrade your internet. You can't be missing this stuff. Steve said he had his first self-tape in ages, but he ballsed it up because he filmed it with his phone screen rather than its lens, meaning the quality was iffy. I'll know better next time. I've also invested in a Gorilla Pod starter kit thanks to Ross's self-tape kit. Oh, yeah, I've got a little... If you want some... I've just basically put a list together... which will just shows you the kit I use. It's not an exhaustive list. Again, I'll go over to, before I play this clip, I will get there eventually, honestly. I'll just go back over to the site. If you want to get this, it's free as well. That's on this.tv/ what is it, mate? Just self-tape, I think. Well, obviously that would make sense, wouldn't it? Self-tape, I think it is. Yeah, and again, just whack you, same form basically, whack your name and email address in there, and I'll send you the self-tape kit list. And it's just basically what tripod I use, what mobile tripod I use, what lights I use with a different option for some cheaper lights, because the lights I use are relatively expensive. But again, it's like invest in it, and it'll invest in you. Like, again, you're going to get 10 years out of these things. Well, 5 years. I think you get 5,000 hours out of LED lights now. I don't even know how many. Someone Google 5,000 hours in days for me and just let me know how many days that is. Like, your lights have to be on that many days before they go out, and they're about, those lights there in the picture, they're about 170 quid I think for two, but they're dimmable LED. You can change the white balance on them, so you have different, you know, amount of white to yellow LEDs in there, so you can change the lighting, make yourself look a bit better, not ridiculously washed out like I look like on all of these broadcasts, because the lights in this office are unchangeable and just ridiculously bright white, so I always look like a ghost. And the downlighters as well, so I always look like a panda, like I've got shadows under my eyes. I don't look as rough as this in real life. It's a good job I'm just not vain, innit? Because I always look like shit on these broadcasts, but I look alright in real life. So yeah, that's on this.tv / self-tape if you want that list. But yeah, who was it who said they screwed up the self-tape? So again, it's a mindset thing, that, and it's good that you said, but you learn for next time, because they're really on, and it sounds cliched, but honestly, when you just embrace this, there are no failures in life. You know, there are only outcomes. And as long as you are, you know, as long as ultimately you're learning, you're succeeding. So don't look at stuff as like going, oh, that's a success and that's a failure. It's just literally just label it as an outcome. Labels are really powerful. What you call something is really, really powerful. And the language that you use is really powerful. Your self-talk. So rather than saying things like, you know what, I'm so overwhelmed right now because I've got all of these things to do. If you change that, you know, that language. So when someone says, how are you? Rather than going, oh God, I don't know if I'm coming or going, I'm really overwhelmed. Like, again, it might sound a bit out there for you, but if you're like, look, I'm just blessed with opportunity right now. I've got all of these things going on, you know, and I promise you'd be complaining if you didn't have all of those things going on. But self-talk is a really big one, and what you label stuff. So it's not a failure. You didn't balls it up. You just didn't get necessarily the outcome that you would have liked. But you learnt, thus you succeeded. So actually, if you're going to label it, it was a success. You had a really successful self-tape today where you learned all about self-taping and how to improve for next time. Dale says he's always watched cartoons, even to this day, but a lot less recently, as a little one is more YouTube orientated than kids channel shows now. But I think this might have given me the kick on the backside to release the inner child. Honestly, it's research. I mean, you've got to watch them and you've got to do figure out where you would fit, or try and figure out why that person was cast in that particular role. For that cartoon, how you would do it. Maybe if you can mimic that voice, if you can, there's no harm in copying voices and just try to do impressions of stuff and just seeing, how versatile you are. You might surprise yourself. And Marcella says, I think the fear comes in with me when I feel I'm not quite connecting with a part, and the fear of it just falling flat. You can be good at acting and still not quite get a character, and balls up an audition. Oh yeah, definitely. But again, it's just an outcome, mate. And as you know what, I love what Daniel Mays said. He was saying, a friend of his, when he was in the wings looking like, Daniel Mays, incredible actor, super successful, but he was saying he was going on stage somewhere, I can't remember where, and he was obviously looking nervous, and one of the other actors was like, Danny, what's up? He's like, no, I'm fine. And he said, excuse my French, he said, listen, mate, it's just another fucking performance. Just get out there and perform. And he was like, from that point onwards, I mean, of course, that's all it is. It's just another performance. And you know, when you've got decades left on the clock, there's going to be lots and lots and lots and lots of performances. And he says, you know, since then it's been water off a duck's back, really. If he has a bad day at the office, or, you know, he doesn't feel he quite connects with something, or it's not a great performance, it's like, you know what, there's going to be another performance. So yeah, again, it's mindset, innit? It's mindset. It's all so important. I can't wait to launch Bulletproof Actor again. It's a mindset program I created in 2014. 2015. It's going to come out again at the end of this year. Brand new version, though. If you go to bulletproofactor.com and get on the waiting list for that. Amanda says, Ross, best way to get hold of you if you have a quick question, looking for an email address for one of your guests on the Q&A that I watched, send a DM, but email. I mean, it's difficult, Amanda. I reply to everything. So ross@actonthis.tv, but just like to let everyone know, I probably get 40 emails a day and I reply to everything. So sometimes on a Friday night, I literally have 145 emails to reply to. That has happened within the last couple of weeks. So, I mean, Twitter's pretty good because I can reply quickly. Ultimately, if you want a really quick reply, sometimes if I see that pop up in my email, I'll just answer it straight away rather than put it in order of who wrote first. But I will always try my best. Or if you tweet me, DM me, I'll just try my best. But if you sent me an email, I'll play this. Actually, you know what? Let me play this clip about auditioning. I'll go and look at my email now. Or where was it? Where was it? What was it on? You sent me a DM. I'm guessing it's on what? On Facebook? You watch this about auditioning for voiceover roles, and I'll go and have a look at my DMs. How do you guys personally get ready when you are going into an audition? What's going through your head?
The way it works is you get given a script, you get told what characters you're going up for, you read the character brief, you look at the pictures, and you sort of know what you're going to do before you go and walk in the door. And you are being paid for your ability to come up with a voice. That's your skill. So that's what you have to do. Like you are a service. You are somebody to hire for this job, and your job is to do that. And if you can't come up with something, then you shouldn't be there. So you've got to be able to just do it.
In terms of actually on the day, so you've had your script, you read through the character description, you've prepared in your head probably how you're, so say for example, it's for me like I don't know, 10-year-old girl. And then so in my head, I've got exactly who I'm 10 years old. I've got the voice in my head. You go to the audition, go on time, go early. Do not think, I'll make it for 5 minutes before. It's the same with any casting. Like, don't treat it as a real job. Don't think it doesn't matter if I'm a couple of minutes late. Like, get there 20 minutes early. If it's either 2 minutes late or half an hour early, go for half an hour early, because you don't want to go in stressed. You want to go in really relaxed. You want to be on top form. Sit down, read through again your character, and then when you go in for the actual audition, they'll likely say, right, what do you think for this voice? And you'll tell them. And they very, very may well say, even after 3 lines, oh, no, we've changed our minds. Can you do her now 15 years old instead of 10? Yeah. Or can you make her 5 years old instead of 10? And if you're not prepared to be flexible on what you've prepared, you're going to feel flustered. You're not going to do your best. Yep. So go in with like 3 or 4 ideas, and be prepared for whatever they might even say, actually, can you do it as a boy now? And I've had that before, where literally they'll change the sex, they'll change the age, and it's fine because it's their show, and you just have to do the absolute best. Yeah. So don't roll in late. You just treat it like a proper job and do your research the night before.
Boom! A little bit of fire on preparing for VO auditions. They are very different, and you do often have to think on your feet, like Lizzie was saying there. You've got to be flexible. They can literally turn on a dime and just go, right, we're actually going to change this. Why don't? The client might not know exactly what they want the characters to be like, particularly if it's not been animated yet. A lot of the times, that's the luxury and the beautiful thing when you get a job that's not a dub. Sometimes you'll be dubbing voice acting, so it will already be in another language, and they're dubbing it into English. You don't really have the luxury then of, what the character, moves like, looks like, acts like. You'll try to fit your voice into that. Whereas if you are doing a project from scratch where you are the first people to voice it, then the animators animate around you, and they'll often, match the movements of the characters to your voice, and you can spend time with it and, spend as much time on the lines as you like, drag stuff out. You don't have to fit stuff into a tight time frame. but so sometimes I'll just go, right, let's experiment, and they'll go, right, actually, why don't we try it like Lizzie said, the child's not 10 now, they're 5, or they were 5 and now they're 10. You've really got to have the confidence to just drop all your inhibitions and go, I'm going to basically, I'm just going to go for it and commit to lots of madness. Bobby, that's hilarious, says, my mother asked if you were unwell and I had to explain the paleness was just the lighting. Look at it though. Sometimes it's like my forehead. I've got a big forehead, really, haven't I? Sometimes it's like my forehead is like, I mean, look at that. You won't, on the audio experience, you won't see this, but it's literally like my face just blends into the white wall in the background. That's just the lights for you. Nothing I could do about that. Let's have a look. You can tape. Oh, Jamie's got a great idea. You can tape baking paper over your harsh office lights to diffuse the light. I mean, that's great. Do you know what, though? They get very hot. What if it's set on fire mid-broadcast and I just set fire to my entire apartment? Might scare me a little bit, that. I could get some gels, though, some real that are made for lights, and see if that helps. But yeah, it's a good shout. Although, baking powder is not baking powder, baking paper. It's made to go in the oven, innit? So of course it's going to be able to take the heat. Good idea. I don't know if I should be trusted, though, like sticking it on the lights. Greg says he's only just realised to see things as an outcome. It's good to hear it from someone else. It's all learning. No, it is, honestly. It just is. Really is. And you just get used to it, honestly. When I'm talking about breaks, the amount of times, well, it's only a handful of times, but like where genuinely I've been so close to getting that break that wouldn't just be career changing, would be life changing, both financially and just in terms of the elevation of where it would take my career. And you just get used to just not getting it. And you're like, right, there's another one. It's fine. The first time really hurts. But then the more you do it, the more resilient. It's just building that resilience. David Harewood on our webinar with David Harewood. We had a members mastermind with David Harewood, incredible actor. And he said it's about building that resilience. We all have those battles. We all have those wobbles. We all face those days where we're like, God, when is it going to happen? And before he got Homeland, he had 80 quid in his pocket and was ready to call it a day and become a truck driver. And his manager effectively begged him to do the self-tape for Homeland. He said, I didn't even learn the lines. I just put my phone on the windowsill. I just basically read it. I got my wife to read it. And I sent it off and thought, I'm never going to get it. 2 weeks later, bang, and it changed his entire life. And that's what this industry is about. It could happen for you, Greg, tomorrow. Literally. I mean, like, what's stopping it? What's stopping it from happening? Getting that call. It could absolutely happen. Right, who was it who sent me that message, by the way? Because I went and read the DM, and the email address you put in the DM was right. So without giving it out on air, because I don't think I'd be allowed to do that because it's not my email address. Amanda, yes, you got it right in the email. Your message when you messaged me on Facebook as well, it went into that message requests folder rather than my inbox. So I've just looked in there. There's dozens and dozens I've missed because Facebook doesn't make it easy to see those. You've got to dig into your messages to find it. So if anyone else is trying to get in touch, email is definitely better than a Facebook message. Just email ross@actonthis.tv and I promise you I'll get back to you, but it just takes time. The more precise you can be, the better. Sometimes I get an email and it's like that, and I think, oh God, right? And I'll read it all and I'll give you advice on everything you put in it, but it would really help me if you could keep it as succinct as possible. We've got a Rapid Fire Friday session for members this Friday, right? The idea of Rapid Fire Friday for members was that we jump on Zoom, as many people can jump on there as they want, and we do rapid fire Q&A. So maybe like Amanda, you need an email address for a casting director. You need an opinion of an agent. You need someone to look at your headshot. You need, I don't know, someone to give you some advice on your show reel or whatever. And I imagine Rapid Fire Friday would literally be boom, 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 getting through all the questions. We did one last week. It's supposed to be an hour long. We did from 4 p.m. till 8 p.m. Now, I can't do that this Friday because I'm trying to break a world record on Friday night for the longest live stream ever. Like, my friend of mine is in charge of it. I'm going to do 4 hours with him where we're going to try and live stream for more than 52 hours straight. I'm not going to do 52 hours because I need to sleep, but the lads are who are running it. So I need to be off the Rapid Fire Friday, eat, and then jump on that so I can do my 4 hours of live streaming on Friday night. So Rapid Fire Friday for members this week. I'll show you where you can get your link. If you go again over to the website, click into your members area, go into your premium membership. I need you to learn this. I need you to tell everyone who doesn't know as well, because I send links out via email when we're doing live events online, but you can jump into these sections on your membership and get your link whenever you like. Don't think, oh, I need to wait for Ross's email. You don't. You can come in here and there's 3 sections that say upcoming live calls and how to join them. Section 1 is where you'll get all of your main mastermind session, the weekly sessions with the casting directors and directors and actors and agents. You'll get in this section. The Rapid Fire Friday links you'll get in this section. Hopefully you can see that on your screen, the middle one. And then the monthly social Zoom links, because we do on the first Saturday of every month, we do a social, which is brilliant. You'll get to meet loads of new actors and stuff, people you never met before, network. You'll get those links in there, and they're all available now. So tomorrow night's link for Rachel Sheridan is in there now. If you remember, go get it, put it in your phone or wherever, so you know where you can get it from. You don't have to wait for my emails tomorrow, which brings me on nicely to tomorrow. So tomorrow night, we've got a freaking cracking guest, one of the top TV casting directors responsible for casting massive shows, things like Feel Good on Netflix, The Other One, new BBC comedy, which is hilarious, really, really good comedy. Rachel Sheridan CDG will be with us tomorrow evening, different time, 8 p.m. Normally we go live at 7:30. It's 8 p.m. this one. If you're not a member of Acts on This yet and you want to join us, the 50% off your first month will get you access to this. Again, actsonthis.tv/this week. You've got till midnight tonight to get your 50% off your first month. I'll play you this. Rachel's awesome. Listen to what she's got to say. Actors, I'm back yet again with another incredible invite for you guys to another incredible actsonthis.tv live webinar, this time taking place on Tuesday, the 21st of July at 8 p.m. with this amazing woman right here, casting director for awesome projects like BBC 3 shows The Left Behind and In My Skin, Channel 4 and Netflix comedy Feel Good, and brand new BBC 2 comedy, The Other One. It's Rachel Sheridan. Rachel, welcome. Thanks so much for doing this. What are we going to be talking about on Tuesday?
Well, I just think let's keep it really friendly, really open. Don't be afraid to ask me anything. I'm sure that any question any single one of you has, the others are also really keen to know the answer. So yeah, don't hold back, and I'll try to be as open and honest as possible.
Absolutely. I always say there are no stupid questions except the questions you don't ask. So ask 100%. Whatever you want. If you want to jump on camera, literally with me and Rachel live on the evening, put your acting career questions to it, anything on casting, auditioning, just anything that's going to help you get further in your career faster. Get yourself over right now to actsonthis.tv/live for full details of how you can get involved with this webinar and all future webinars as well, and even watch previous webinars as well. And also, Rachel, a little bit of pressure, but 5-10 seconds on why actors don't want to miss this one.
Well, I mean, what else are you doing? I mean, I know that the restaurants and bars have opened, so actually you might be going out and getting pissed, but, you know, come and get pissed with me instead.
Exactly. We'll all have a drink. You want to get yourself involved with this. Yeah, actsonthis.tv/live. We'll see you there. Boom. Once again, actsonthis.tv/this week. If you're not a member, never been a member, and you want to get a month for a half price, it only costs you £12. You'll get access to 4 of these webinars, one every single week. You'll get 2 Rapid Fire Friday Q&As and a monthly social. It's a freaking no-brainer. Bargain. Tomorrow's going to be awesome. Honestly, really, really good. Like Rachel said, come and have a drink if you want. Come and get pissed with us. I'm sure we're not going to get absolutely wasted. But that's been the theme, hasn't it? It's been a lot of people who are like, look, come and have a beer. Let's talk about the industry. You know, the more beer consumed, the more honesty about the industry we get out of people. But ultimately, we're just going to be, we're going to be talking all about Rachel's casting process, what you can do as an actor specifically to get on her radar, what she's casting at the moment, if anything's going down, any other series of stuff that she's been responsible for or going again. Obviously, like I said, at the moment, a lot of people are waiting for insurance to be put in place before filming can begin again, but casting is starting to take place. There's been more and more people, requesting self-tapes from actors. There's been a few in-person auditions that I've seen people putting out on social media today as well. So, COVID-safe auditions are happening. But that's 8 p.m. tomorrow night. If you're listening on the replay, that's on the Tuesday night, 21st of July. If you're listening on the audio experience, If it's before 8 p.m. on Tuesday the 21st, you've still got a chance to come and get involved with this. atsonthis.tv/this week. Or if it's after the 21st of July and you're listening on the replay, go to atsonthis.tv and you can just watch the recording. Again, you'll need a membership, but get membership. You'll get access to the entire vault of everything that we're doing. So that's tomorrow evening. What time are we on now? That's gone so fast. It's 2 minutes to 10. We'll start wrapping it up. Anyone got anything to say before we go at 10 o'clock? It's gone well fast, hasn't it? This has gone way quick. Let's have a look. People are saying last week's Rapid Fire Friday wasn't that rapid. No, it wasn't. It really wasn't that rapid. It was 4 hours. I can't do it. Like I say, this Friday, I'm thinking of putting something together where people can submit their questions. They can write their questions out in advance, because then I'll be able to prep the answers to those so I can go quite quick. There's just no chance I'm going to get through everything. I didn't think it was going to be as popular as it was. About 100 actors turned up. So I'll still try and give you guys as much value as I possibly can. Alex says, do I ever sleep? I do try and sleep, Alex. It is good. And Connor says, stock up on coffee and Monster. I've never been a fan of Monster. Red Bull I quite enjoy, but coffee's all you need, Connor. You don't need anything else, mate. At all. Marcelo said, definitely guilty of writing too much in an email. Your emails to me are never too long, mate. No, honestly, I see some monster emails. It's like, seriously, to the point where I'm like, I'll probably have to print this out and take it in the front room and I eat my dinner whilst reading it, because I just can't read all of this on my computer. I'm always being reminded less is more, says Gillian. Caught up on Lizzie's webinar today. Thanks for getting her on. Was so good. Nice one, Gillian. Hope you enjoyed that. Nicholas says, currently out of the house, so I have to leave, but I will watch on repeat. Hope you're all well and having an awesome week. Hope you're well as well, Nicola. And Chris's issue is that he doesn't send enough emails to people. It is about consistency. I've experienced this myself, Chris, where I'll go through a week of being really proactive and enthusiastic about it, and then suddenly life will get in the way. And then I'll be like, oh, God, I haven't sent anything out this week yet, or this month yet. Sometimes over lockdown, I've been like, God, I've really just focused on this. I've not done anything in my own career this month. It's about not judging yourself, mate. Honestly, right now, that's something that I'm learning the older I get, and it's almost a superpower if you can get your head around it. I don't know about you, but I've said this before. I sometimes, because I've got so much going on, and that's my choice, don't have to do any of it. I've chosen to do all of these things. Don't have to be here now. I get to be here now. What a privilege it is to be here now and have people in my life who give a shit about what I've got to say. So this is my choice to be broadcasting at 10 o'clock at night. A lot of people will be like, no, I'm just going to relax and do Netflix or whatever. So I get to do it all, remind myself of that. But then it's not judging yourself when you do have an hour off or 2 hours off, or you know what, even a day off. I'll tell you what I got into this weekend, right? Don't judge me, okay? Let me show you. I actually think it's worth a lot of money. So, I don't know about you lot, but 20 years ago, I'm a geek now, but 20 years ago, as a real geek, I collected Pokemon cards because I love Pokemon cards. I was like 15. I'm like, right, get some, 21 years ago. It would have been like 16, something like that. 16, probably a bit sad that, isn't it, actually? But I worked in a computer game shop, so I got loads of Pokemon cards, and I kept them in a binder for 21 years. Now, I'm not being funny, but sort of started researching it this weekend. The cards that are in here, look at that. There's a shiny. Where is it? Can you see that? I can't do it properly. Can you see that? Where is it? But that's basically that there. That's a pretty mint condition shiny Charizard. And I've got an entire full collection of all the originals and loads of promo cards. Now, I didn't realise, but some of these literally sell for thousands of pounds. One single Pokemon card, not one I've got, but one single Pokemon card sold for nearly $200,000. Mine aren't that rare, but I think they could be worth a few grand, and I was going to bin them. So I basically spent the entire weekend researching Pokemon cards. And normally, I'd feel guilty about that. I'm watching YouTube videos on Pokemon cards. This isn't doing anything for my acting career, or this isn't growing my business, or helping people, or, contributing anything to anything else. And it's about going, no, I'm not judging myself. If I want to sit and I want to spend an entire Saturday watching videos on Pokemon cards, and I'm enjoying it, then you know what? Just sod it. There's more to life than just sending emails out to try and get an acting job. Otherwise, life's, that's important. That's what we all want. But there's got to be a time where it's okay to switch off. And I think sometimes when you just don't feel it, it's kind of your body's way of saying, look, you're not in the zone right now, and that's all right. And what I found is after I'd watched those videos, and I thought, I was in a great mood afterwards because I thought, shit, I might have some decent amount of cards here that could be worth some money. I then went back to the work that I wasn't doing, and with way more vigor, way more passion, feeling much more just energetic, because I have a real habit of sitting here for 16 hours at a time, and all I do is this. And I love it, but equally, I'm aware that I need to just chill out sometimes. Sometimes I just go for a walk or whatever. So, if you don't feel you're doing something enough, then that's good to notice that so you can address it if necessary. But also, don't beat yourself up about it. You can change it. You can do something. You can start doing more now. Just know, it's good that you've just noticed it, but don't get like too down on yourself about going, oh, I should have done that, all this sort of stuff. Having the ability to not judge yourself, I think it kind of makes you a little bit invincible. Chris says, Ross, you are not weird. I'm the same age as you and did the same thing. Honestly, it's so good, mate. It's so good. I started watching people. I watched a few videos and it became quite addictive. I started watching people open packets of Pokemon cards on YouTube. And I was just glued to it going, are they going to get a shiny one? I mean, it's a completely different world now. I collected them. There was like 100 cards out in a set, and if you got a shiny one, it was good. Nowadays, it's like, there's all kinds of different weird shiny, this, that, and the other, and I don't really know what's what, but fascinating, isn't it? I'm like, why am I watching someone else open cards, and I'm getting excited, even though they're not my cards? I thought maybe I should start a YouTube channel up opening Pokemon cards. See if you tune into that on a Monday night as well. Julian said, have I tried the games? Yeah, I've got Pokemon Sword and Shield on my Nintendo Switch because Chris Stone, the director, massive on Nintendo Switch games and stuff, made me buy it. I'd not played Pokemon since Pokemon Blue, which was like the first one out, and I loved it, but that was it. I was obsessed with that game as a kid, and I'm playing Pokemon Sword and Shield, it's called, on the Nintendo Switch. Again, sometimes you just need a break from your acting career, and then you're like, look, this is cool. Now I'm going back to my acting career with feeling more energetic, feeling more fulfilled because I've got something else that's just given me a little bit of a release and a bit of leisure time. Meryl says, I love Pokemon cards. So sad I didn't keep them all. You've got the memories, Meryl. You've got the memories. And I tell you what, just buy some more packs. Buy some packs. I bought Chris Stone for my birthday. This is last September. Chris is a proper geek. Bought me a couple of packs of Pokemon cards. I don't know if these are worth anything. I've not had a look, but they're a bit new. They're a bit modern, them, I think. But yeah, oh my God, this can be a fortune, says Rachel. No, honestly, there's some Pokemon cards that are just like freaking crazy. And Sarah says she likes watching unboxing videos on YouTube. It's funny what we watch, isn't it? Watching people unbox stuff or open Pokemon cards. Crazy. Brendan, take care, mate. I hope you're good. Brendan's got a dash off. I think we've all got a dash off. But thanks for being here. Thanks for listening this long. I want to see you tomorrow night on the webinar with Rachel Sheridan. Again, I just implore anyone, if you're not a member and you don't go and get this here that I'm pointing to, if you don't go and get just a month of actonthis.tv for 12 quid, right? You're making a big mistake. I just feel you're making a massive mistake. And I know money is hard to come by right now because of our industries being, our industry is a little bit shit right now in terms of there's not a lot open and not a lot happening. But, try it out. If you've got, look where you're hemorrhaging money. If you've got Spotify, if you've got Netflix, you've got Amazon Prime, you're eating out, you're buying Subways, you're drinking Starbucks, just cut back on something and put it into your career. There's no amount of money that you can spend that's too much when it's actually invested in yourself. I'll give you the hard sell there, but I just think you need to go and get involved with this. All these people in here will tell you as well. Come and get involved. I think what we're doing is incredible. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow night at actonthis.tv/this week. You've got until midnight tonight, so just under 2 hours to get a month for half price. Those on the audio experience, I'll sort it out so that you guys can still claim this as well. I'll figure that out, but I'll put that in the intro of the audio experience, so you'll have already heard that. Right, cheers, Dawn. Cheers, Sharon. Thanks, everybody. Massively appreciate you all being here. If you've got any tips on Pokemon cards, or you've got any old ones that are in mint condition, I'll let you know how I get on, but I'll probably end up buying those off you. I'm going to play this trailer one more time for Rachel tomorrow night for those people who missed it. But yeah, come and join us. It's going to be a lot of fun. And as I said at the start, I'm going to end with this. You are only ever... Please don't forget this, right? No matter how shit you're feeling about your acting career or anything in your life, you are only ever one audition away. Until next time, Bye for now. Actors, I'm back yet again with another incredible invite for you guys to another incredible actonthis.tv live webinar, this time taking place on Tuesday, the 21st of July at 8 p.m. with this amazing woman right here, casting director for awesome projects like BBC Three shows The Left Behind and In My Skin, Channel 4 and Netflix comedy Feel Good, and brand new BBC Two comedy, The Other One. It's Rachel Sheridan. Rachel, welcome. Thanks so much for doing this. What are we going to be talking about on Tuesday?
Well, I just think let's keep it really friendly, really open. Don't be afraid to ask me anything. I'm sure that any question any single one of you has, the others are also really keen to know the answer. So yeah, don't hold back, and I'll try to be as open and honest as possible.
Absolutely. I always say there are no stupid questions except the questions you don't ask. So ask
100%.
whatever you want. If you want to jump on camera, literally with me and Rachel live on the evening, put your acting career questions to it, anything on casting, auditioning, just anything that's going to help you get further in your career faster. Get yourself over right now to actonthis.tv/live for full details of how you can get involved with this webinar and all future webinars as well, and even watch previous webinars as well. And also, Rachel, a little bit of pressure, but 5-10 seconds on why actors don't want to miss this one.
Well, I mean, what else are you doing? I mean, I know that the restaurants and bars have opened, so actually you might be going out and getting pissed, but, you know, come and get pissed with me instead.
Exactly. We'll all have a drink. You want to get yourself involved with this. Yeah, actonthis.tv/live. We'll see you there.